When you were talking about what happened, about the fact that you'd done the SARS and you'd asked for the Plan D review, and nothing had come home. Do you know what I was thinking? I don't know whether you were as well, Sarah. I was thinking, I bet they haven't got the paperwork of a graduated response. You will find that sometimes particularly in early year settings, because it's not statutory school age. Anyone can open a nursery. You do have to be registered by Ofsted, but it can be opened by businesses, it can be opened by church groups, it can be opened by a group of parents who get together because there's need in the community. So the kind of the knowledge and the understanding and the paperwork processes can be very hit and miss, and they can change. I mean, Sarah, you used to open and work for chains that were opening early years provisions, didn't you? And so you know it can be hit and miss.
It can be very, very hit and miss, and it's really, really unfortunate because the early intervention is absolutely essential, and as is tracking the child's ability, the child's needs, and how the child is accessing their education in early years. And if that's not happened, then you can do all the SARS requests that you like, but if they haven't got anything to give you, you won't see it because it hasn't been done. And you can try and evidence that, and the only way you can do that is to say, but I put in a SARS request and I asked for this information was not forthcoming. So they either that information's been lost, in which case that's a GDPR breach, or you haven't been assessing my child and you haven't been doing these, in which case why not? My child is identified as having additional needs. Why aren't you tracking their development and their attainment and how they are moving on through age-related expectations?
It leaves you in a difficult position because you are going to need to seek the evidence elsewhere now. And realistically, that is going to mean, unless you've got OT involved, SALT involved from the NHS, or CAMS or paediatricians who can provide you with evidence, it's going to mean seeking independent evidence. So an independent assessment from an EP, independent assessment from a speech and language therapist or an occupational therapist, which you're going to have to pay for. Yeah, if you've had a private EP, an independent EP assess, then you're in a good position. You don't need stuff from the nursery if you've got an EP. An educational psychologist would always, outflank what a nursery is saying. And this leaves the local authority actually in a difficult position now, because your EP is going to say whatever your EP says. The local authority have got nothing to counteract that now, nothing at all. So I think you're just going to have to see how it goes. But now you've told me you've had an independent EP. I'm much happier with that. You will be okay. It will be okay. Yeah.
And remember that your child cannot be overly assessed. So now you've had your EP make an assessment, and a local authority educational psychologist is going to come in and observe. They're highly unlikely to do the range of assessment that a private educational psychologist is going to do. So you are, and it's really hard because you're, at the bottom of this, you're thinking, well, how is my child's needs being met currently? Move forward, take this, because you're now looking for the next step, and you're in a really good position.